Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Ian Van Zan, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to BKS1 Radio. The Owl Show is your girl, LaToya Chanel. And of course, I am here with my bestie, Miss Queen B. We are blessed and happy to be back in the building, right? It's a happy Tuesday.
It is.
And we are full of energy. Why? Because we have a great guest that is, well, not full of all of the energy, right? I guess we got to tell the truth and be transparent here, right? It's a rough Tuesday, everybody, but we are here.
No, not that bad. It's not that bad. We're actually okay.
We're okay. But
I'm
we're
ready
gonna
for
always
the week to be over, though.
But that's what I said. It's a rough Tuesday.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it's just. I know it's just Tuesday, but I'm ready for it.
You're ready to be Friday. Me too.
I'm ready for it to be Friday.
Me too. We have to get through Tuesday and we have to get through Wednesday.
Yes.
I was going to say how are you, but I guess you were already saying exactly how you are. So we are on the same page here with it's only Tuesday and I'm ready for it to be Friday. Okay, we're on the same page. Yeah. I am excited though because we have an amazing guest that is going to be joining us via Zoom in a couple seconds. Thank you to everybody from last week's show. Everybody has been talking about last week's show, right?
Yes.
You were getting comments after the show.
A lot of
A lot of reactions after last week's show. Just to bring everybody up to speed, last week we talked about beauty in the African American culture and why women of color are being taught or I don't want to say taught.
Or
discouraged.
Yes.
And women of Africa, it seems like women of African American culture are being discouraged
and not
from
finding it priority.
Not finding it to focus on anything that has anything to do with beauty. And of course, we are outshining all others in education and buying homes and starting businesses and doing all the things. So we're doing all the things that we're setting out to do and crushing our goals. Right. But sometimes as a woman, there's a basics of softness and beauty and feminism, and I feel like
that we have to keep,
that we need to keep, right?
That's the part.
And I feel like we are really getting away from that, and not only are we moving away from that because, as some of the ladies mentioned, a lot of us are just tired. We're doing so much, we're overly stimulated that we don't want to focus on these things at all. However,
the other piece
of that is that is a part of our superpower as well. We are still women, and I think women of other cultures they do have the space to do that a bit more than some of us do, but I just don't think it should be lacking in our culture as well. So we had a great discussion on that last week, and we had a bunch of comments from some of the fellas and a bunch of comments from some of the ladies afterwards that just appreciated the discussion and feel like they just want to get back to themselves, because a lot of people feel like they've lost themselves in the pursuit of their goals, lost themselves in whatever it is that they have going on, family, marriages, careers, sickness, whatever it may be. Sometimes just putting lip gloss on is all that they can do. And we're just here to encourage you that we want you to be your best self. We want you to show up in spaces as your best self.
I want to reiterate to just to redefine exactly what we were talking about, because it was not in any way, right? In any way to bash or minimize what our plight is or what women go through on a daily basis. It was basically us doing housekeeping with each other. Yes. And just saying, hey, I know it's rough out here. I know we are plagued with a lot of stuff. The Black women in unemployment rate, our health conditions, our laboring, in labor, just dealing with the toxic work environment, or
microaggressions,
and things like that. We want to make sure that you are still keeping yourself. Go to the spa. Get your nails and feet done. Just do some self-care, even if you can't afford to do all of those things. Be one with nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go in Barnes and Nobles and get lost. Like, just do something that would allow your mind, your body, and your soul to be fed. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
That was it. So it was a great discussion, and I honestly, I want to continue on with it. Maybe today, I don't know. Maybe next week, I don't know, because you never know where our conversation's going to go. Because I don't even think we started off with that last week.
No, we didn't.
But we did.
We did not. We literally just led to that. And it was just like, yeah, I think that's spirituality, though. Because honestly, I did get people need to hear that.
Yeah.
People need to hear that.
Yeah.
We are a culture that, again, the point of our show is outstanding women who help heal.
Yeah.
And when we say heal,
and heal, because we're on these journeys ourselves.
We are on it, exactly.
And
we're not removed from
anything
from this. We talk about.
And for both of us to be sitting here saying, "Oh my God, I already wish it was Friday." Do you know what it took for me to
get
brush
through.
this weave down and get it, child? Anyway, we'll talk about that after the show. But in the meantime, I want to get to our guests, because we have a great interview coming up.
So if you see me looking the other way, know that I'm paying attention. But I just want to make sure that everybody who is like,
you're sharing it everywhere.
You didn't send me the show.
You're sharing it everywhere.
Sharing it. That's all.
Yes. So I want to. Okay. So everybody knows that I have multiple jobs because I talk about it, right? So everybody knows I work in performing arts and in theater and all of the things. And so I have the amazing pleasure to work with my mentor, who I interviewed just a couple weeks ago. Shout out to Donna Walker Kuhn, who is my mentor and has been in this industry for the last 50 some odd years, blazing trails and making ways for women of color, right? And so I have the pleasure of working with her on a new off-Broadway play entitled Movies, TV Mayhem. I just want to show you all. I don't know if I can hold the little card up here. Can you all see that? There you go. Can you see that? Okay. Yes. So it's Movies, TV Mayhem, and it's a new off-Broadway play that's going to be premiering at Theater Row on April 23rd. And the run is going to be, everybody, from April 23rd until May 9th. I believe that's 13 shows. So just make sure you buy a ticket to at least one of the shows and get yourselves out there. But one of the stars of the play is an amazing woman I had the pleasure to meet. Now, everybody who knows me, well, everybody who doesn't know, I have a dance background.
Yes.
I did not move forward in dance. I went to Broadway Dance Center. I went to Ailey. I did all of the things. And then I got older. I got married. I had children and realized I was 5'1" and I was gaining weight, and this may not be the space for me. But I admire dancers and I admire actors so much. And I had the pleasure of meeting this amazing woman who is actually one of the stars of this play, who was actually one of the stars in Fela, who was, you know what, I'm going to let her tell you just a bit of her background, but she is one of the stars in Movies, TV Mayhem. Please help us welcome to the virtual building, Miss Oneika Phillips.
Hey. Good evening. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And how are you today?
I'm wonderful. That was a lovely introduction. I really appreciate it. I wanted to tack on. I'm listening with such a keen ear to the conversation about the care we as Black women need to give to ourselves. And I can't help but hear my mother's words in my head, which is like, take a shower before you go to bed. Wash the day off for you, right? So if you can't get to the spa, if you can't get them nails done, whatever, at least take a warm shower. Soap and water heals. That's what my mom would say. Soap and water heals. And just wash the day off and lay in your bed clean and wake up clean. You know, it does something to, you know, relax the cells and relax your heart and just bring you to a place of calmness so that you can have a restful night. So I just had to tap that on.
I like that.
Because sometimes the self-care people think, oh, you know, I have to invest all this money.
I have to spend money.
And yes, and that's one of the simple things to do that we can do to take care not just of our outer selves but our inner selves as well, right? But that being said, hi everybody.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously
that was great.
That was great because we should be sharing tips and tools from what our mothers told us and what our grandmothers told us. You know, and pouring into one another with the positive narrative, right? That everybody thinks that, you know, as women of color, we're just so hostile and aggressive and full of attitude, and it's time we shift that narrative, you know, and that's a narrative that was created out of, I don't know, jealousy, spite, all of the things, but just sharing how to love yourself and is a part of us loving on one another, and that is just something that we need to continue to do. I've detected an accent here, Oneika. The accent, yes. Where's the accent from? If you don't mind saying.
So I'm stealing something now from my father. Like he would say, like it's a Commonwealth accent. Okay. So I'm from Grenada. Well, let me do the timeline right. I'm born on Guyana, raised in Grenada. And so I don't have a Guyanese accent, and I have what I think people would refer to as a Grenadian tone accent, right? It's a tone, yes. Also, I went to St. Joseph's Convent, St. George's, and had a fantastic teachers in both literature and public speaking. Yes. And so a lot of that was centered around sort of like this parliamentarian presentational way of speaking that has just permeated who I am. So what you're hearing is Grenada, a little bit of Trinidad, a little bit of Ghana. I wouldn't say any Bajan, but yeah, Grenada.
I love it. Okay, and you mentioned the public speaking background, but right now with the performing arts portion of it, when and how did you get into the performing arts portion of things?
Okay, well, how long you have? Because so I like to say, you know, my parents say that I came out dancing, right? So just I had a lot of energy as a child, and in order to channel that energy, my parents put me into dance class. Okay. And I mean, I took to it like fish to water, right? I had experiences with the Guyana School of Dance, and then in Grenada, my main company, the one that truly reared me, was the Grenada Dance Workshop. The girls who became women, I am still like friends with them. We are a community, we are a village. Yeah. And that idea of performance just came up with me. And I loved being able to put my heart and soul into creativity, whether it was being taught movement or coming to a place where I could teach movement myself through choreography or performance. I would take part in the National Arts Festival that was held in Grenada and did well, and then eventually was representing the country with the Grenada National Folk Group, particularly in Commonwealth circumstances. So like, for example, we represented Grenada on a cultural team at the Commonwealth Games in Vancouver one year. We would come to New York and do cultural performances. And that just never left me. It never left my spirit. And as I, was growing up, there was a part of me that was like, I want to study law, but this thing that I am convinced, or not just convinced, I know that God put in me, right? That God put as part of my cellular makeup, it would not leave my spirit. And I remember I had a conversation with my parents, and I said, I would love the opportunity to study dance further at a university level. Yeah. And I mean, that is a whole story in itself. And they gave me their support. And one of the lessons that, again, my parents just infused me with so much advice as I walk this thing called life. What my father said to me is, just remember that every decision has its consequences. Yes. So whether that's good or bad, if you're making a choice, you are the one who is responsible for all the consequences that come from that choice. So if this is something that you want to do, you must dedicate yourself to it.
Yeah.
And again, that's the sort of background I come from that has absolutely impacted my life, that then brought me to the United States. I graduated from university. I came to New York. Okay, I'm really trying to make a long story short here. I was in marketing for a while.
Yeah.
And again, that fire, that desire would not leave me. And I would be taking classes. A beautiful friend of mine advised me to audition for a magnificent company called Forces of Nature Dance Theater out of Harlem. Incredible company that laid the foundation for my career in New York. And then I was advised to audition for an international tour of West Side Story. Now, at the time, I had not traversed into music theater. My goal was dance. It was always to be a part of a reputable, company. Contemporary and modern dance company. And I went to that audition. I mean, green as could be, like green guava that will bind your belly, right? Like green. And luckily, again, they saw that fire in me, like the director saw the fire in me and was like, I want you to be a part of that tour. And from there, I was bitten by, I think, the music theater bug, or certainly.
Well, wait, before you get to musical theater, what is dance to you in one word?
Liberation. Liberation. It's the opportunity to use my body to tell stories, to process emotion, to dare an audience to understand what is being said without words. And it is also an opportunity to root myself in aspects of myself that at one point may have been taken away from ancestors, right? So particularly through West African music and genres in African American and Black movement, there's a reclamation that happens when I utilize my body a certain way. So it is liberation for me. It makes me proud to be in my body. It makes me proud to be able to execute movement that at one time was illegal to do. That could get people like murdered for expression of what their culture is. And the fact that I get to reclaim that and bring added value, or rather put back the value into that movement, is liberation for me, and it's revolution for me. And the idea of movement in the hips, movement through the back, through the arms, through the fingers, like it's just an opportunity to be in control of my own body. I'm giving autonomy to my own body to perform this movement, and it's reclamation. And I think that every Black woman should afford themselves the opportunity to class where they can touch that liberation, let go of fear and let go of embarrassment and uncertainty, and reclaim something that once upon a time we were not even allowed to do. So that's what it means to me. Yes.
No, I love that. I absolutely love that. You were saying you got into musical theater.
Yes, and a segue here is, so I did West Side Story. It was amazing. It took me all over the planet. I'm going to tell you, all over the planet, all over, which just continues to empower my understanding in this human existence, which is that you could go to Taiwan, you could go to Singapore, you could go to Portugal, you could go to Germany, and you realize human beings, like on a kind of really general level, we all want the same things. We want to feel happy. We want to feel safe. We want our loved ones to be provided for. And we generally want a sense of peace and ease, right, in our day-to-day. And so when you get an opportunity to travel, yes, you come into different cultures, the way people live their lives, the way they eat and drink and sing and talk and so on. But there's this wonderful human thread that that threads through everyone's experience, and when it comes down to it, no matter what we look like, we're ultimately striving for the same thing. So that was a benefit for travel.
Yeah.
But in terms of the conversation of liberation and movement and reclamation, that for me happened in the most unlikely of spaces, which was the Broadway stage, but in the likeliest of stories, which is the story of Fela Kuti. So I was a member of the Broadway cast of Fela the Musical, which was about the life and music of Nigerian activist and musician Fela Kuti. And when I tell you, there has never been anything like it on Broadway, this expression of Black bodies and the sound, Fela's very specific sound. He created a sound called Afrobeat, singular, Afrobeats. You know, Wizkid and Burna Boy and them is a child of that. But he created this incredible amalgamation of sound that allowed him to be a voice for the people of Nigeria and ultimately for Africa, because he was a Pan-African advocate. And to bring that to the Broadway stage, I mean, it just absolutely changed the way I have conversation about what being an artist is and the responsibility of being an artist. It was such a powerful, powerful show. And members of the show and the band, we still sing together. We still do shows in terms of like the band.
Yes.
We have a band called Chop and Quench, and we still sing that music because that music is relevant today.
Wait, so you have
that music is relevant today.
You're acting, and you also have a band outside of that too?
Yes, well, it's our band. It's the band. The band is called Chop and Quench, the Fela Band, and we do performances. We have a concert version of the Broadway show, which is just the music, and then there's the band where we will play around the cities at venues.
Oh my God!
Just making sure people hear the music of Fela.
Oh my God! And when is the next performance? I want to know, when is the next performance?
That's a good question. We just did a gig at a joint in Williamsburg called Radagast Hall.
Okay.
And that place is usually filled with people of non-color.
Okay.
And we had them like up on their feet going crazy. Like the band always does that. One of my favorite performances with that band was at Prospect Park opening for Chronics.
Okay. Yeah.
And the electricity that ran through that park that night was just incredible. And it's those are the types of shows that encourage me to be very particular about the shows that I participate in, because of the great satisfaction I had being a member of that incredible company, and getting to meet the family of Fela and them holding the producers to bringing the show to Nigeria. So we were the first Broadway show to go from the Broadway stage to Lagos. And we played the show in Lagos, and we played the New Africa Shrine, which is, Fela's baby. His family has held up that legacy with such pride. And to be just a small part of that story is one of my proudest achievements, honestly.
I don't know if it's small.
I do think we're minimizing here.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna receive that. I'm gonna receive that with a lot of thanks and
absolutely
deep gratitude for having been a part of that. Yes,
absolutely.
One of the things I will say is the thing that I always think about is the saying that they say about Black women who dance, and one of the things they say is Black women have history in their hips. And they have prayer in their shoulders, and they have when they dance, they have freedom that can't be silenced. Those are the things that they say about Black women who dance.
That is so beautifully put, and that is exactly what I mean by liberation. You know, if there's somebody out there listening right now, and you thought, "Gosh, I wish I could go to this class or that class," find a space, find a class where you can release some of that, and allow yourself access to that, to freedom and prayer and liberation. It's absolutely essential for us in our bodies.
Right. Yeah. All right. So that's dancing. That's the singing part. Now let's get to the acting part, right?
Yes.
Let's get to the acting part, because we're here because we're talking about movies, TV mayhem, and that is a new off-Broadway play that's going to premiere on April 23rd that you are one of the stars in. And so as far as the acting bug, when did you get bit by the acting bug? Was that a part of Fela?
I would say that I've always been interested in it, but dance was always my first love. And then when I did West Side Story, I absolutely fell so deeply in love with the role of Anita, which has been played by icons like Debbie Allen and like Cheetah Rivera, just incredible women. And that to step into a space where it was like, oh, I'm not just using my body, but I'm using my voice. And in the scenes where you're not singing or dancing, I just thought, this feels familiar. Like, I can do this. Even without having done it before, I was like, I feel so invigorated by the opportunity to also include words to reflect human experiences. So I would say like the bug was with Anita, and then moving into larger and larger roles, whether it was through Fela all the way to a show that I did a couple of years ago, 1776. I just was like, you know what? As I mature into fine like wine body, I have an opportunity to continue this on-stage experience through acting. And 1776, which was reverse rolled, meaning that it was mainly women and trans bodies playing the role of the founding fathers of America.
So say that one more time. Say that again. Say it again.
So the show traditionally, 1776, is about the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So traditionally, it is played by white men who reflect what the founding fathers look like. Yes. Right. Now, what the director did with this production was use women and trans persons to play those roles. And it included Asian women, Black women, white women, trans persons, and I want to make sure Native American women as well. And to play the founding fathers. And the idea was not that we would become those men, but that we would step into the history and experience the history. And when you do that, it shifts the perspective of the way you understand the history. So you can imagine now it's women and trans persons sitting, having this conversation about how do we have a discussion of freedom while enslaving other bodies. And that becomes a very tenuous conversation because now you start to really understand, because now the expectation is broken. Of course, you're going to have some white men that say yes and some white men that say no, and the economics of it all. But when you have different faces and bodies discussing the history from its foundation, you recognize like the contradictions and the errors and the very, very hard decisions that had to be made in order to start a new country. And the reality is if we could discuss history this way, I think there would be more the empathy gap would be closed faster. We would have respect both for why decisions were made a certain way and why the conversations of it should have been done differently.
Right.
Those conversations can be had in tandem instead of fighting with each other and deciding, I don't want anything to do with it, right?
Yeah.
I think that, as a Black woman, as a Black immigrant, Caribbean woman to this country, my question is, what do the founding fathers of America have to do with me? And what was really incredible is seeing how decisions made in America affected decisions made in Britain, which affected decisions made in the Caribbean, which affected, it affected movements in Haiti, in Jamaica, all of it. It is all intertwined, but you don't understand it from that perspective unless you allow other bodies, genders, races to be a part of the conversation.
You just part of it and to experience it.
Yes. Yeah, and you are an essential part of it. I'll give you a very small example. There's a line my character would say, which was something to the effect of, this new constitution doesn't have any language about fishing rights. And it's one single line. It's very short, kind of a throwaway line. And we had the opportunity to speak with history professors from Harvard. And I brought it up. I said, what is the significance of that to the representative of North Carolina? And he said, well, you're from the Caribbean, right? I say, yes. He said, you like saltfish? I say, I love saltfish. Like, which person from the Caribbean don't like saltfish? He's like, okay. One of the major parts of the slave trade was those waterways in America. They would fish them, salt them, and send it down to the Caribbean in exchange for bodies. Right? So we know cane, we know cotton, we know even rice, sugar, those conversations. But the idea of why ports and water and access to waterways was important is something that had kind of just gone over my head. And now it becomes come on, look at how resourceful we are as Black people.
Yeah. We
take things like saltfish, like the pigs of the feet of pigs, the feet of chickens, all the stuff that they wanted to throw away.
Yeah.
And we make them into delicacies, into the things that fed and nourished our bodies. And not oxtail. And now look at how those things are being colonized. Right? Yes. Being called delicacies, and they're very expensive. And if you want it, you have to pay a big amount of money. Yeah. So we have to be very careful about how colonialism happens over and over again. But to bring the conversation back, like, I had not ever thought about swordfish as a conversation around enslaved bodies. Right? And so just being a part of that show really, really, it exploded, I think, this deep desire to facilitate my talent in acting to tell stories where people can have that sort of shift in perspective or shift in understanding.
And eye-opening type of understanding as well.
Yeah. So I want to use that as a segue into movies, TV mayhem. So for everybody who doesn't, most people don't know because it still hasn't premiered and it doesn't premiere until April 23rd. But movies, TV mayhem. I'm just going to go ahead and read some of the captions we've been using. It's the absurd, messy, and uproariously funny play about some of the things that happen behind the scenes, right? So I know that you all are in rehearsals now, and we can't tell everything that's going on, right? But with the one line that you got from 1776 that is helping you to process certain things, right? And then with what you are feeling from Fela, that is helping you to process certain things as a people and move forward with the music and the legacy. And we take experiences from all of the things and from all of the roles and characters that we get to play. What do you feel so far, and obviously that will probably change after May 9th, but what do you feel so far is one of the things that you're learning from this character here?
So this is a great question because this play is a modern play, right? It is contemporary. It's my one Black female body and then two male white bodies. And so it takes, you learn things from other shows, both on stage and off, both philosophically and in terms of just your craft. The last show that I did was Merry Wives at the Shakespeare Theatre Company in DC, which was adapted by Jocelyn Bio. Shout out to Jocelyn, who's incredible, taking Shakespeare and putting it into a West African voice, which was really wonderful and fun, but using and using Shakespeare. So it was pulling Shakespeare into a contemporary space. This play is purely contemporary. This play explores stories that the writer knows as true from his experience as a writer on television shows and movies. And the setup is that the three of us, a woman and two men, we are actually similar to you. We're in a conversation where we're in a podcast setting talking about these stories. And then in order to share the story, we get up and we become that character to tell the story. So one is about like a sexual harassment seminar. Another is about what's called a Teamster captain and problems that they ran into. Another one is about a writer who thought they were going to get the job, but a Black writer who thought they were going to get the job, but the job was given to a white writer. So it's exploring the manipulations and let's call it bad behavior that can happen on sets and in contract negotiation. Hello, I can speak English. I promise. Negotiations.
Yes.
English is my first language.
Yes.
Contract negotiations. The sort of dark side of these things, and in the midst of that, right? So it's sort of meta. It's the three of us putting on a show, and then within that show, you become a character to facilitate that show, but then we're still ourselves. And there's aspects of those stories that end up bringing up things about the three people in the bodies that they're in, and them coming to terms with those issues, like discussing those issues. And it's messy and a little unsettling, a little uncomfortable, but absolutely worth the listen because that's how these conversations go. It's one of those shows that's like, if I'm having this conversation with my white coworker or Asian coworker or someone else that has a different intersection, those conversations can get uncomfortable. Nobody is necessarily right or wrong, but everybody has their particular experience. And the show has those meta layers to go through, from the podcast to the characters presenting to the actual people. So when we're on the podcast, we're on air. And then when we're off air, we're ourselves and sort of dealing with what the way telling those stories impacts us as those storytellers. So come see it. Come see it. I think it's absolutely worth the conversation that it would inspire.
So for everybody, it's going to be on Theater Row in New York City. It's going to be April 23rd through May 9th. So make sure you go to theaterrow.org and buy yourselves a ticket. There's 13 different shows. Pick one. Just pick one.
Yes, and it's a 3-person play. It's Jason Hall, Grant Neal, and yours truly, Oneika Phillips. Come see me. Come see me.
Yes.
And come. buy a ticket. It's a short run, very short run, and the truth is, the show itself is in a place of development, and we would love to have the feedback so that as it grows into even bigger spaces, it can become even clearer and sharper in the story that's being told.
Absolutely. Listen, you're coming, right?
I gotta come.
You have to come. Okay, you're gonna buy your tickets. We're gonna let everybody in the chat know where to get tickets. I'm gonna put in the chat theaterrow.org so that everybody can go on and just pick a date anytime between April 23rd and May 9th. Buy a ticket. Yes. You have to see this amazing spirit that is in front of us, because I am truly, again, having a dance background myself and knowing that you have that dance background, I'm always just in awe of everyone who actually was able to bring that goal from a little girl to fruition. I too was the little girl who was dancing around the house, and my mother said, all right, let's just put her in dance and do something.
So I gotta tell a story.
Absolutely.
What's the story?
Yes, please.
No, just the fact that we've been best friends for a very long time. I'm talking about how many years? 30 plus years, right? So I'm used to her, just like she says, I make fun of her like spirit fingers, and she was a cheerleader and all that other stuff. And I'll say that when it was our senior year, we had a rites of passage, like a thing where it was like I did poetry, everybody did something, but it was like our last hoorah of us being senior year. So I remember, I'm playing around or whatever, but she goes up and she's dancing with two other of our friends, and she dances to Wade in the Water. Yes. And I never forget me, when the playing stopped and I realized how spiritual she was when dancing. I cried. It sounds crazy, but I literally cried because I was like, oh my God. Now I know she did all of the dance shows. I know that she was, Alvin and Ailey. And I know that she did so many things, but I don't think I had seen her in that way until then. And it was just, to me, it was just so powerful. And then every time I think about the song Wade in the Water, I think about the moment
you see her.
I see her because it was oh my God, this is but it is, dancing to me, like I said earlier, it's just profound. It's a blessing to do and be. When we do the what are the house music festivals, and you see all of the people just moving, it's no rhyme or reason behind it, right?
It's spirit. It's spirit.
It's spirit. It really is spirit.
Absolutely, it's congregation.
Yes,
it's congregation.
Yes.
It's prayer. Yeah,
it
is.
So I'm just in awe about, you even with all of the things you've done.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
I'm amazed. I'm
amazed. I love it. I absolutely
I
love
really
it.
am.
Again, I'm receiving it. You know that thing we do where, like you said, minimize?
Yes.
I am truly trying to receive it. And I think I'm going to add that to the soap and water thing, especially for Black women. If we're talking about healing,
right?
When you're given gifts of affirmation and compliment from the people that love you and care about you, receive it, let it, don't block it. Don't block it. Yeah. Receive it, let it fill you up. And
let it pour in.
Been trying to yes, I've been trying to practice that more and more. So I think if I had to leave a few words, it would be: take your warm bath, take your warm shower, soap and water. Doesn't have to cost a lot. And also, if you can, just, even if it's just 5 minutes, just sit with it. It doesn't have to be complete silence. You don't even have to call it meditation. I put on something called brown noise or white noise. It's everywhere on YouTube. You can find it. It's just like the sound of a fan.
Yes.
Yep.
Just something so you could slow your brain down and just give yourself, just touch your shoulders, your stomach, your knees, all these things that either hurt or you got a little complaint about, belly's a little over the belt, or, the thighs looking a little thick or whatever. Just give it some love. 3 minutes. right?
Yeah.
And then go about the busy day or go to bed. Just make sure to just give yourself some love and grace. Take the compliments, take the love that is given to you and don't block it.
Absolutely.
Don't block it, because we will train ourselves and call it humility, and people will continue to take from ourselves, and literally from our cellular capacity, and we really deserve so much more. So if it's not acting, if it's not dancing, if it's not singing, whatever it is, just find that thing, that space of joy or that space of calm and that space that belongs to you. Don't let people keep carving away.
Oneika, how can folks find you?
Well, on stage at Movie TV Mayhem from April 23rd to May 9th at Theater Row. That's one way. And then, even though I've been trying to, for the same reason, like care of my mind, I've been trying to not be on social so much, but definitely on Instagram at Dragon Passion Fruit. Dragon is my Chinese lunar animal, and passion fruit is my favorite fruit.
Okay.
So at Dragon Passion Fruit is one of the places to join me on my journey of theater, stage, movement, acting, all of it.
I think, I just want to say, and like you said, I think we do a lot of not allowing ourselves to pat ourselves on the back, right? Because that is just, that is just who we are. And I'm honored that you would actually just not find it robbery to be, right? Just to be.
Yeah.
And to do something that you love and that is inspiring, and also just freedom for you, as you said, which is an honor in itself, and it is a legacy that that we all need to learn from. We all definitely need to learn from. It's inspiring to see you in this element and to be confident and fearless and just, you know what I mean? It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
It really
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I've been obsessed with the moon, the stuff happening with the moon. And at one point I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
I need to do more. And I took that moment. I said, no, I'm taking the 3 minutes to think about literally what I said, my life. Yeah. What have you done with it? And I was like, you know what? God didn't put you here to go to the moon. Right. Put you here to impact audiences through movement and through acting. And so I'm trying to honor that gift. Absolutely. I'm really trying to honor that gift. So thank you for that. Thank you for that blessing. I received it.
And you are definitely doing it. So
thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Oneika Phillips. Please make sure you check her out. Movies, TV Mayhem on Theater Row.
We are gonna
April 23rd. We'll pick a date for you.
Yeah.
April 23rd through May 9th. Go to theaterrow.org and get your tickets. And good luck, break a leg, mirrored, all the things that they say in theater and dance and all of it.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll be seeing you on April 23rd.
I really appreciate you all. Thank you for having me. And please keep sending out these incredible vibrations that you are through the work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jeff, take us away. Not us, but Miss Oneika Phillips. All right.
I love it.
Woo!
It was so
Isn't it amazing?
Yes.
Isn't it amazing?
I'm inspired. That is so great, because I think a lot of times we question our gifts, and it's just so funny because I was just talking to my niece today. And one of the sermons that my niece was like, I don't know what to do when I was like, look in your hands, right?
What do you have in your hand?
Because whatever you have the gifts, right? You have the gifts.
Do you know how powerful that is?
Yes.
Do you know how powerful that is? I remember reading that scripture coming off of being divorced and trying to figure out what was next and what I wanted to do with my life. And if I had the capabilities to do it with all of the responsibility that I had at the time, and for the first time ever doing it all alone. You know, all alone with no support. And I remember that scripture about what do you have in your hand, and the woman whose husband had died, she was doing it all alone. Yes. She had children. Yes. She had oil. She had the oil tin. She borrowed the rest of the tins from everyone else. And the more she did, the more God replenished the oil. And then she sold it. She sold the oil and she paid off her debt, and she did all the other additional things she wanted to do. And so that scripture stuck with me. What do you have in your hand? And that's actually what drove me to leaving the corporate space that I was in, and to to being in all of these spaces, to being in performing arts and theater and
corporate didn't deserve you. Right?
Yeah.
Corporate didn't deserve you.
No, corporate was
definitely was not.
I didn't belong there.
I don't belong there, but
we'll talk.
Yeah. But no, it definitely is. I'm just in awe. It's funny how God gives confirmation, because you definitely have to do what you love. Yeah. Right? And you were always in performing arts, and you were always in whatever, and that is what you're doing.
And
right?
I shifted from that.
I mean, you did.
But I shifted.
But it wasn't fulfilling, was it?
No. I shifted from that for responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
For responsibility.
Yeah.
And I shifted from that because everyone told me
there was more money there.
That in order to be successible, you had to do A, B, and C, which was somebody else's path, which was somebody else's role, which was somebody else's position that they were supposed to play in life, but it was never mine. It was never mine, and I didn't need to take on the role of someone else to be me.
Yes.
All I needed to do was be me.
Be you.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think we lose that, and especially when we're younger and when we're younger women, we can be influenced not because we don't have a certain level of confidence, but because our circumstances and situations get in the way. And again, when you have the responsibility and you're looking at, I had mouths to feed, right? I had mouths to feed. I was already somebody's mother very young. And everybody says, oh, no, well, you got to make money. So in order to make money to put food in somebody's mouth, you have to do this and have to go that route and major in this. And I did those things, and by the grace of God, I made it back to me. By the grace of God, I made it back to me,
and I want
doing
to make
the
it
stuff.
Back to me too. I wanna make it back to me too.
Well, sis.
No, I mean, nursing was always my calling, right?
Yeah.
That's just something that was just innately in me. But I like to do other things.
Yeah.
I like to do other things, and I think
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see somebody, because I feel like when you do what you love, there's a light about you. There's an ease. There's an ease about what you do, because they said if you do what you love, you won't work a day in your life.
I mean, you're going to work. You're definitely going to work, but
you won't work. But you're not gonna. It's not gonna feel like work.
No, right. You're going to work. You're going to work, but the difference in the feel is doing what you have to do versus doing what you want to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And a lot of times when we're doing what we have to do or doing what we need to do, there is a level of stress and there's a level of anxiety that is tacked on with that. Like, oh my God, I have to keep not being authentically me, or I have to keep not living in balance, or
that part.
What about what about all this other stuff that I have stored up in me that's bubbling over that I'm not able to express because I need to focus on all of the stuff that isn't me, you know?
Yeah.
So
when you feel like a job disrupts who you are and what you are,
left it,
and where you're going.
Yeah, I left that.
You got to leave it.
I left that. Yeah. I couldn't do it no more. The fact that I was driving into a corporate job where I was making good money at the time, crying every single day.
That's not.
And this was pre everybody focusing on mental health, right? This was pre everybody's like, oh my God, your mental health is your, before all of that, I was in a space where I could not do it anymore because I felt like I wanted to live in balance. And to just be completely transparent, as we are on this show,
always.
I was at a time in my life, again, where I felt like everything that I was doing was rented. I don't know if anybody else has ever felt like that. I don't know anybody in the chat or whatever. I felt like everything I was doing was rented, right? The house that I was living in, I did not own. It was rented. The car that I was driving was a lease. I wasn't financing anything. The man that I was seeing was not mine, and
he was rented.
He was rented. He was not mine, and not
glad you outsourced him.
And, right, no, and not because he was necessarily somebody else's, but he just didn't belong to anybody.
Right.
You know, you know what I mean. So it was.
He was for the community.
He was for the. Yeah, he was for the community.
Yeah.
And he was not mine.
Right.
We were doing things as if we were in a relationship, but he was
Couldn't
not.
tell the difference.
But he was not mine. Mm-hmm. So I felt like he was rented.
Yes.
And I felt, and at the
What a
time,
bar.
yeah. and at the and at the time, I was working in a space where I didn't even want to be in that space, but then I was a contractor in the space that I didn't want to be in. So there was always but you're not an employee here.
Yes.
There's always that. So then that felt rented.
Yes.
And I started looking around.
This is a word.
I started looking around and I started saying to myself, nothing is mine. Nothing is mine. Nothing is mine. And I was like, and I have to do something about that, and I have to change it. And I literally had to start from scratch. And this ain't no just drink your water stories. I literally had to start from scratch. Okay. I literally had to just leave that kind of job and redefine me. You know a song I used to listen to? Okay, so the scripture was "What's in Your Hand," but the song I used to listen to, ironically, we're talking about plays and musicals and things, was from Dreamgirls, and it was "Look at Me, I Am Changing." And I used to listen to it. I used to listen to it in the car, riding back and forth. It started to do something to my soul. It started to do something to my spirit. And I was like, I am changing. I am changing. I am revamping. I am redoing. I am refinishing. I am becoming a new creature. I am becoming a new person. And I'm doing it by, changing all these things. I got rid of the car and I brought a car. I got the house, and then I was like, I got to get out of this career. I got to do what is authentically me. What's in my hand? What do I know I can do?
I remember, but do you remember? Not for nothing. Do you remember being in that space? This is crazy because you went through a lot still, right? Mm-hmm. But being in the space that you were in, and do you remember one time you thinking about leaving the space that you were in? Because it why?
I was thinking about leaving the space because I was back to that responsibility thing, which is obviously major, right?
Okay.
But I was back to that responsibility thing, and I was like, I don't know if I could hack it. I don't know if I could do all of this. It sounds great that I'm saying I'm able to do it, but it ain't paying the bills.
Right.
It's not paying the bills. Right. And sticking with it, and now obviously making more than I was. From all those other places, sticking with it is what got me to be here now, where I'm able to live, sustain, be responsible, and do all of the things. But it was the responsibility part that was going to put me back in shackles, because that to me is exactly what it would be. It would be
felt like.
Yeah, it was shackles.
Gotcha.
Crying every day.
Yeah.
Going to a job, crying every single day, in the car, to the point where I started having anxiety attacks. In the silence riding in the car, I would have anxiety attacks in the car. And I was like,
ain't no job worth that.
Ain't nothing worth that.
Because
nothing is worth
that. I've seen them. I've seen people die and they clean their desk off. No. I'm talking about seeing it. Clean the desk off and then be like, the position is up for grabs. I've seen it.
Somebody else is just going to take your job.
God
it is what it is.
Cecil.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So we did have another topic that we didn't get a chance to do, but we're doing it. You want to do it next week?
Yeah, I really want to talk about that next week.
So next week we do have because Queen B had a really great topic, but
I think it'll be good. I want to let's bring some people in.
Okay.
We'll bring some people in to
discuss.
The girls
week.
Definitely to discuss that topic because I think it's a big one. I think it's a great one.
Okay.
And I like to see some different perspectives and things like that. So.
All right. Well, listen. All right. So next week we have a show. Right now it is 8:00, so we are about to get out of studio and go home.
Got too much
everybody.
To do.
Yeah, exactly. So
but
listen.
I love y'all.
Yeah, we do love y'all. Again, shout out and thank you to Miss Oneika Phillips, who is from the play Movies TV Mayhem. That is an off-Broadway play on Theater Row. Please, please, please make sure you go to theaterrow.org and get your tickets to at least one of the shows. And we love you all for watching. We love you all for listening. And God willing, we'll be back here next week. Same place, same time, different show.
Love y'all.
Bye, everybody.